Today we're going to talk about the Queen. The Queen's first name is Elizabeth, and she was born in 1926 in London into the royal family. When she was born, she was not actually the next in line, or the next person to become king or queen. But when her uncle was involved in a scandal with an American woman who was divorced, the Queen's father became the next in line. Her father became king in 1936, and because Elizabeth was now next in line, she started being educated at home to prepare her for becoming queen. She learnt about the history of the monarchy, the history of the kings and queens, as well as the history of the religion of the country and the law of the country. She also learnt many other things that a royal needs to know, such as how to ride a horse and how to speak French. She met her husband, who is now called the Duke of Edinburgh, and after knowing each other for many years, they were finally married in 1947. They got married in the largest and most important church in the country, Westminster Abbey. They now have 4 children and 8 grandchildren. In 1952, when Elizabeth and her husband were in Africa, they got the news that her father had died. This meant that Elizabeth was now queen. She flew back to London straight away and was met at the airport by many important people, including the Prime Minister, Churchill. The next year, after many months of work and preparation, she officially became the Queen. The ceremony took place in the same church that she had got married in, Westminster Abbey. During the ceremony, she sat on the throne and the crown was placed on her head. The ceremony and the huge public celebrations were heard on the radio and seen on the TV by millions of people all over the world. So what does the Queen actually do? What exactly is her job? Well, she's probably the most important person in the country. She's more important than the Prime Minister, for example, who can only be in power for a few years. The Queen has actually been in power for more than 60 years now. However, although the kings and queens used to be in control of the country a few hundred years ago, this is not true anymore. It is Parliament and the Prime Minister that run the government now. The Queen is not part of the government. She does not run the country. She's not allowed to support any political party or tell the Prime Minister what to do. She's meant to be above the daily politics of the country and is meant to represent the whole country, not just one part of it. She still has a few traditional jobs, however. For example, every year it's the Queen who opens and closes Parliament. She also meets the leaders of other countries who come to visit the UK. So, for example, if President Obama came to London, he would meet the Queen as well as the Prime Minister. Beyond this, the Queen also visits different places in the UK and makes visits abroad to different countries, including the other countries that she's still the Queen of, such as Australia and Canada. When at home in England, the Queen reads the newspapers every morning and reads and answers some of the letters that people have sent her. She then has various meetings with other people in the government and other important people. She also meets with the Prime Minister every Wednesday. They talk about what's happening in the country, but what exactly they say is a secret. When she's visiting different parts of the country, the Queen also tries to meet the public. Beyond these traditional things, the Queen has also introduced some new ideas and new ways of doing things. For example, for most of the history of the UK, if a king or queen had children, it was always the boy, the son, who would become the next monarch. It was never the girl or the daughter, even if the girl was older than the boy. The Queen did not have a brother, so she became the Queen. However, if she did have a brother, he would have been king, even if he was younger. The Queen helped to change this, and the law now is that the oldest child, whether boy or girl, will become the next monarch. The Queen's first child was actually a boy, Prince Charles, so the next monarch will be a king. Another thing the Queen has done is to open her houses to the public, including Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. People can now visit these places and see what they're like inside. If you look at it logically, there's no reason to still have a king or queen in the 21st century. Most other countries don't have them anymore, such as France or China or America. However, although there are some people in the UK who say we should become a republic without a monarch, like those other countries, the majority of people still support the Queen. In fact, about 70% of the people today still want to keep the royal family. The Queen has been on the throne for more than 60 years. During this time, she's lived through good times, bad times, different wars, different governments. However, while much has changed in the country, the Queen has remained popular